So now what? You've probably asked yourself that question 100 times because for decades you've been doing what you have to. And now you're wondering, have I actually done enough to do what I want to do? Would you like some help? That's why we're here, to take you from I have to wow, I really get to? I'm Brad Johansen with Omega Wealth Private Capital, and this is Wise Money. So glad you're with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansen along with Joe Wilson III, the CEO and president of Omega Wealth
You're looking
Private
awful
Capital.
Scarlet and gray.
That's one of my favorite jackets, my friend, right there.
This one?
Yeah, I like
this
that.
whole thing?
Here we are talking close. Let's talk about closing you on a retirement that lasts the rest of your life the way you want it to. We put together a retirement readiness review, and that's what we want you to come into the office for. We'll be talking about it throughout this program because there's a lot of shock value in trying to figure out how to get to retirement. I think there are a lot of people who are really, really happy about the way the election turned out. Why are they happy? Because they feel like there's going to be a change. Don't you think most of the votes came in based on finances and where we are right now? And I went out to eat, and I can't believe how much it costs. I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, I went to dinner with the fam recently. Kids came home. We went to Skyline. And where else do you go when you have college kids coming home, right, for Skyline? The bill was over $65. I love Skyline. Like, holy smokes. So, you know me, that triggers something. So I went digging. I don't want to get too buried in stats because we don't want people falling asleep. But check
I like
this out.
some numbers.
McDonald's. Love me some McDonald's. I lived on McDonald's in college. Like, that saved the $1 McChicken and the 69-cent cheeseburger.
Because you knew you could go for a $1 meal.
And then I love that $1 Diet Coke that has something special in it. Addicted would be.
We probably shouldn't do advertising, but there's something special about a McDonald's Coke, isn't there?
You all agree. Yeah. You know how good that stuff is. All right, so check this out. McDonald's, a cheeseburger in 2019. Very long ago.
So 5 years ago.
Yeah, not very long. $1. It's up 215% mid-24 to $3.15. Now, that doesn't seem like much, right? $3. That's the thing about inflation. It just compounds and tacks on. Now, think about this. If you're taking your grands and you got 6 of them and you're going to McDonald's, you got 6 mouths to feed, all of a sudden, that's just $20 in cheeseburgers. It starts to add up. Here's another impact. Taco Bell, and I know this is your place.
I like some Taco Bell.
Every time I'm like, where'd you go to dinner? And you're like, oh, I went to Taco Bell, right? So Nachos Bell Grande. Love that. $3.29 in 2019. Almost $6 for some chips and cheese. Bro, inflation's here to stay. And so the cost of living is going up everywhere. And I think it's impacted those of us that are working, because I know when I look at our spending plan, we don't say the B word, budget word, the spending plan.
I know.
We're spending a lot more on food. And I'm sure you are as well. How does that affect you 15, 20, 25 years from now in retirement? Because if you've been saving all this money and you haven't built in a proper inflation number, it will come back and bite you. It's a silent killer. It doesn't impact you so much today other than, man, I just spent way more than I usually do. It's taking the dollars out of your income because you no longer have it. Your income is your retirement plan.
This is straight through. This is not just fast food. This is going to the grocery store and trying to prepare a meal. You try to prepare a meal for a 16-year-old who's doing 4,000 calories a day. The whole thing that you're adding on to is, okay, what's the shock value? And then you become scared and go, I'm not going to do anything about it. If we're working on an inflation number, what's the average 50-year number that we're working on?
What's the average 50-year number that we typically see when folks come in with a financial statement or plan? They're using 2%. The fact of the matter is,
they're working on 2%, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't even exist. And so when you look at long-term 50-year number of inflation, it's 3.8. So that's almost half. So when we project dollars out, and the number one fear in America is running out of money, and it's why so many folks, I think, are paralyzed when it comes to retirement planning, because you've been doing it one way. You've been accumulating. I'm going to save, I'm going to grow, I'm going to grow. But when it comes to spending and taking it out and making sure it lasts, that's where there tends to be a disconnect. That's what we specialize in, helping people tax efficient income that lasts longer than you have breath in your body, that is using a true inflation number and not just a generic 2%. If you're not doing that, you're taking gigantic risk.
We ask this in workshops all the time. Does anybody know how much inflation has gone up since COVID began? And we're using that 3.8 50-year average. And we tell them, and we'll get guesses of 12, 13%.
It's almost 24.
Yeah.
24%.
Almost 24% of
gathering everything together. Some sectors are significantly more, some are less. But when you look at the impact to the modern retiree right now, it's huge. And those are the challenges. We'll see folks come in for the first time off of the show. Maybe you're sitting there right now going, we're taking more out of our retirement account than we had planned. You need a reliable income engine. You have an income gap. And the way to fill that is not just taking more out. We're going to talk about that in the next segment, the ways that taxes hit retirement assets. You have to have a plan that's tax efficient. It's an income engine that lasts you to and through lifetime. Otherwise, you have the fear of running out of money.
Take them to break. Tell us what we're getting.
Folks, right now, 844-657-1072, or maybe take out your phone, take a picture of that QR code. You've worked too hard for too many years to set up a retirement plan that'll last you to and through retirement with faulty numbers. Have you looked at inflation at over 3.8%? Do you have a plan if the market shifts and goes downward? How much do you have to cut your spending? So do you have an income engine that is designed to last you to and through your retirement so you can be and stay retirement ready? Here's the deal. It's complimentary. All you have to do is claim your spot. 844-657-1072. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're diving into all the different ways IRS has a bullseye on your retirement money. After being in this industry for almost 2 decades, I can tell you one of the largest areas the modern retirees tend to underestimate is legislative risk. You have to control what you can control, and that is an effective financial plan that is complete and holistic, that understands where you're going to get your income, where you're going to get the growth. Have you hedged the risk of longevity, making sure you don't run out of money? And how have you had asset preservation that if healthcare needs come your way, that you have enough money to take care of you or your spouse through those later years? Get a sound income plan adjusted for taxes and inflation that protects you and your assets regardless of what's happening in Washington, D.C. Click the link below to schedule your own personalized time with one of our amazing fiduciaries so you can be and stay retirement ready.
At OW Private Capital, we understand that your retirement plan isn't just a set of numbers. It's the culmination of a lifetime of hard work, sacrifice, and dedication. Led by our founder and CEO, Joe Wilson, a seasoned financial advisor with nearly 2 decades of experience, he spent years inside large regional firms, and Joe saw the need for something different, plain-spoken advice. No Wall Street jargon. Now at OW Private Capital, our mission is built on the 5 agreements to provide the confidence that you need to be and stay retirement ready. Our team will take a comprehensive assessment of your goals and craft a flexible strategy to do what you have to do today so that you can do what you want to do tomorrow. From creating an income engine to maximizing tax efficiency, we help you create a legacy that lasts. Reach out to OW Private Capital. Let's put together a plan so that you can be and stay retirement ready. Grateful you're with us on Wise Money. Brad Johansen, Joe Wilson III. And I want to go into the tax calculator because we talk about this all the time. This is
fun. I love this calculator.
Well, it's because it's so useful for people that haven't been told about. You said IRS has a bullseye on your back.
It's a debt.
What do you mean?
If you've been saving money in a 401k, or maybe you're a teacher, 403b, government worker, 457,
yep.
It's a traditional IRA, something that's other than a Roth IRA or 401k. It's not all your money. You have debt to the IRS in that. And it doesn't just end with you. It'll pass on to the next generation. We talk about that. If you're the primary breadwinner and you pass away, your spouse, surviving spouse, will go from a joint, married filing jointly, into a single bracket. That is significantly higher taxes owed on the same standard of living.
Right.
When that person passes and it's going to your children, under the current rule, we're going to talk about this in a bit, IRS has changed the rules of how long you could take that out. You have to take it out in 10 years. The tax debt continues. How do you know how much debt you have? Take out your phone, take a picture of that QR code. Go to wisetaxbill.com, W-I-S-E, taxbill.com. Real quickly, you can put in some numbers, just the toggle a little bit. I think I'm going to get this type of return on my investments.
Right.
And it'll say, hey, if you lived at 90, pass it on. Here's some potential taxes that you might owe on that IRA. It is an astronomical number. It's like total pulling back the curtain from the Wizard of Oz. You can't unsee it.
Well, it's not an idea to scare you. It's an idea to
take action.
Because this is real. The thing is, you don't get to escape without the government being your partner. And so in doing that, what this does, even in the calculator, you will see, all right, what if I were to convert that? What do you mean, convert that? If you can convert that now to a spot where you take the government out as your partner, it changes the number rather significantly.
Yeah, because everyone wants tax-free income. Do you? I know I do.
I do.
And one of the things I've planned with my life is, well, how do I make sure when I'm taking money out for Angela and I that it's tax efficient? I don't want a partner in there that can change the rules whenever they want. That's currently really bad money managers. $36 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
There's a bullseye. I've gotten it off of my life. I think you should have it off of your life. Does that mean you do it all in one fell swoop? Oh, no, no. Nay, nay, as I like to say. But we're going to educate you and show you if this is the problem. Here are some potential tracks that you can do right now. And here's the fact. No one is talking about this in the financial industry. They might be glossing over it. But the reason there's no action, and people are saying, well, I'm not sure, I'm just going to wait. Sometimes that's the worst thing you can do. If you go to the doctor and they say, hey, there's something here, we got to go to a specialist and check that out, and you wait, that's a tragic error. We've got to address this now, because modern retirees right here in Cincinnati, that you're sitting on a tax debt that you probably don't realize, and it's astronomical.
Misinformation is some of the biggest thing. And I told you about my conversation with my brother, who's approaching 73, and says, I can't convert anything. Once I turn 73, I can't convert anything into a Roth. What are you talking about? Well,
there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of times folks say, well, is it a contributory Roth? I make too much money. That's putting money into a Roth IRA. But now that we got Roth 401ks at work, maybe you're still working. There might be a plan. How much do you put in the Roth 401k versus the traditional 401k? How does that affect you? Not today, but 10, 15, 20 years. It is a plan. It's planning so you have tax efficient income that lasts you to and through retirement. Our job is to educate and help you understand the potential tracks that you can take right now, but you can't wait. I know we got to go to break, but I got to touch on this.
Okay.
I was having problems seeing the golf ball with the kids. You know, they're junior golfers traveling all over, and I hadn't been to the eye doctor in a while. I said, Andrew, I got to go to the eye doctor. Being diabetic, just crossed, 37 years this past month. Went to the eye doctor. I could tell her reaction was different and said, I need you to go to this appointment tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow. You're going it tomorrow. So I realized it was significant enough. I got Angela to go with me. When I went into that eye specialist, we have wonderful eye specialists here in Cincinnati, blessed by some of the best. He looks at me and he said, Joe, we've got to do immediate surgery on your right eye, because you are one blood vessel being popped to be permanently blind. And you're not far back that way on your left eye. What do you mean? What if I would have waited?
And you don't respond to that with, well, I can wait.
No, by that time I got that, I'm like, do it now. But we are accustomed to, well, it's convenient. It's not convenient to do this. I like convenience, I like easy. Trust me, no one likes that more than me, and no one lives off a schedule more than I do. You know that with me every day. You like your schedule. But in that sense, I got information and I knew I had to act. It's the same when it comes to your tax time bomb. Choosing not to do anything could cost you significant amount of money and your ability to stay retired, because you got to realize as that tax is coming out, it's eating more of that hard-earned money, and that's the money you're going to live to fight inflation, to keep your standard of living, to take your vacations, to take your trips. This cannot be ignored. wisetaxbill.com.
Made an adjustment. We have to make adjustments all the time, trying to figure out how the plan needs to be adjusted because something's changed. you don't have the time to sit and wait and go, okay, maybe this will be okay. 844-657-1072. Let's make the appointment to set up a retirement readiness review. And if you haven't gone to it, wisetaxbill.com. Do you have one of those? Brad Johansen, Wise Money with Joe Wilson III, a legacy plan I'm talking about. Do you have a tax plan? Have you come up with any plan for your retirement? We have a retirement readiness review for you. There's so much uncertainty, and you talk about that.
Life is full of the certainty of uncertainty. And that's what life is. There's things we can plan, and there's things we can't plan for, but there's things that we can be prepared for. What if? What if? What if? And that's what we do when we sit down with folks. Hey, here's where you are. Here's how we're going to structure this. Here's the what if the market pulls back 25, 30% and you're taking money out. How do you do that and not get a pay cut? What if taxes go up 15 years from now, 10 years from now substantially? How do we plan for that? What if you live to the age of 96 like your mother, 95, my uncle, 96. Yeah. My uncle's best friend just passed away, 94. My father, 84. These are real numbers that we're living longer. What if you live longer? Do you have enough income that'll last you as long as you have breath in your body? And if you're not having those conversations, as simple and as plain as those are, then what are you doing right now? That's the opportunity that you have by picking up 844-657-1072. You have worked too hard to just raid around and hope this works out. We need to structure some planning. I'm going to get into the book. We need to mention it all the time. As it's coming out, this is something that you have been planning, working on. Almost 19 years of really just notes and thoughts.
Really what it is. It is a career of saying, now it's time to put all of this knowledge and perspective out there, and we're going to be giving it away for free. 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. Why so important now?
Because we've never seen the markets at the levels that they are now, all-time highs. We've never seen interest rates where they are. We've never seen our debt as a society higher. And all of this is coming around, how do we make this pot of money that you've worked 20, 30, 40 years for last and not subject yourself to negative years and effects of retirement when you don't have to? It's making sure that we put market money and we take the risk in the appropriate bucket so it's most tax efficient to you. I love market money, but money can grow from $1 to $1 million, and if it's in the wrong account, you've got a giant tax bill. But what if you did an account where you put in $1 and it went to $1 million and you don't owe taxes on it when you take it out? Yay, sign me up for that game. So do you start to have a plan as how all of your assets work together? Because when you start to take money out, many times you have to go, is this a taxable asset or non-taxable? And I'm telling you, the ones that have had the more efficient and more enjoyable retirement have hedged against inflation, have done proper tax planning, and have positioned some of their assets against a hedge of market volatility. So they always have a place to go to get income, regardless if the market is up or, hate these times, when the market is down. I want to, before we go to break, I want to go through this a little bit because Ben Franklin, I'm a history nut. I love it. He's got a great book. I love it. In this world, nothing is certain but death and taxes. So I was just trying to go through this morning, like, hey, here's some areas of income, Mr. and Mrs. Listener, that you have retirement assets. These are some things that right now are subject to taxes. So here's just a list. Throw this down and think about this. Okay. 1, Social Security benefits.
Yep.
Pensions. Interest-bearing accounts. Maybe you've sold stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. If they're in the wrong account, taxes are owed. To what level of taxes depends upon your current income. What about dividends? We love dividend stocks, but is that taxable? Depending on the account that they're in. How about traditional IRAs, 401ks, 457s, 403bs? We call that the 400 club. You got money sitting in a 400 club, it's not all your money. When you take money out, taxes are owed. What about life insurance that's not properly structured? We haven't even started. We could do a whole show on that. Savings bonds, annuities, depending on what type of account they're in, possible home sales, depending on the asset level. There are so many ways that the modern retiree is subject to taxes. Let's control that narrative now. And the reason that most folks don't is because they're just unsure. That's what we love to do here. Not just income planning and asset preservation and making sure you're hedged against longevity, but making sure that your money comes back to you in the most tax efficient manner. We do not do taxes at our firm. We do tax planning, and that's morphs into what we were talking about earlier, legacy planning. We have some great estate attorneys that will meet you in our office. If you don't want to go downtown, I don't blame you. I don't either. Pay the parking, ride the elevator, nay, nay. Come on to our suburbs in our office. We've got one that's soon open here in Columbia, Tuscaloosa, down in Crestview Hills, Kentucky. Our corporate headquarters up north, up in kind of the Mason, Blue Ash, Sharonville area. And you can meet with a estate planner and start to get your legacy planning so everything is passing most tax efficiently.
844-657-1072, a retirement readiness review based on the 5 agreements. Hi, I'm Brad Johansen. We want to make sure that our message is consistent with you. You've got to have 5 agreements to be and stay retirement ready. And if you're missing one of those, there may be a problem in what you're doing to try and make your money last until your last breath. Number 1, we want to create an income engine for you. When you lose your job, you've lost your income. How do we create an income engine so it lasts into and through retirement? We'll couple that with agreement number 2. How are your investments working to make sure that it gets you there? And number 3, have you considered your tax debt? How do we play with that so that more of your money stays in your pocket and doesn't go with the government? Number 4, we want to create asset and capital preservation so that we have a safety net to make sure that not everything is at high risk. And number 5, we want to make sure you have a legacy plan. It lasts for you, and it lasts for the people after you're gone. Let's make the 5 agreements work for you into and through retirement so you can be and stay retirement ready. Thanks so much for being with us, Wise Money. Brad Johansen along with Joe Wilson III. We were just talking about it, and it escaped my mind. What do you want to hit before we get out of here?
I think it's very, very important that folks realize that retirement can be on demand.
Oh, yes.
You might be watching this show on demand. I record everything.
Because you can't be on that kind of schedule when you're running the schedule that we're running.
And I love it. So, I mean, Yellowstone is out. I'm a Western just fanatic, and so I've got my Western shows, and I watch them on demand. Football game gets boring on Saturday. Sometimes I flip over, and as my mom would say, I watch my programs, right? My wife's like, oh, I'm leaving. I don't want to watch this cowboy stuff.
Yeah.
Retirement should be on demand. Maybe you're watching this and you've just retired and you're going, man, I hope we've done the proper tax planning. Call. Let's do that for you so you have certainty. Maybe you're getting ready to retire and you're like, I haven't even thought about some of these things. You should and you must. How do you do that? You pick up the phone and you dial that number, you take a picture of that QR code and claim your complimentary appointment with one of our amazing fiduciary advisors so you can get a clear understanding so you can retire on demand. Maybe you're in your 40s and you're Gen X and you're saying, wow, I've got some money coming to us. There is a gigantic avalanche of money getting ready to transfer from the baby boom generation to Generation X
Maybe
and
about
Generation
88
Z.
trillion.
It's massive. How do you use that money inside your current plan? How do you do it most tax efficiently? How will you be taxed on those dollars if your awesome parents didn't do the proper tax planning? This all has to come together. And if you're just looking at an account and you're going, I was here this year and now I'm here this year, I'm good. Oh, friend, you're opening yourself up to some major issues down the road and you don't have to. Probably what you're doing might be right. It's just a few tweaks here and there. And that's what I love about our team as fiduciaries.
But the thing that's so important is I can't stress it enough that your plan will not look like anybody else's plan. So don't let anybody tell you what plan that they said that you should be in. Water cooler talk, neighborhood talk, somebody who's done it and said, you know what, this is the only way to do it. Why is perspective so important with the people that walk through the door and we hear a story that I can't wait to do what you want to do?
When you look at what we get to do every day, and it's not just sit on television, we love doing this show, but folks, you come in off of these shows and off of our college educational events and our workshops, our radio show, we are able to see in 1 week multiple folks in their retirement planning. We're able to retire numerous folks every year. It's one of my favorite things to do is when folks retire from the firm, we take them out to a nice dinner and we have a retirement party with them. Done several of those this year.
We got more coming
Because
up.
we have perspective. We've walked you through that. We've walked them through that. And we've been able to see those that have done it well. And then unfortunately, there's folks that have called and go, I'm in a pickle. Can you guys help me pivot? And so we have the perspective of things that have done well and then they have not gone well. You deserve the best. You've worked too hard. Let's put a plan together so you can be and stay retirement ready.
It's simple. You make a phone call, you click the QR code. It costs you absolutely nothing, but doing nothing can cost you everything. 844-657-1072. I'll be in the office. Joe will be in the office. Lou will be in the office. We're going to meet you where you need to be met so that we can make you retirement ready and stay that way. So glad you're with us. Can't wait to see you in the office. We'll see you next time.
From tax time bombs to Social Security insecurities, strategic investments that help clean up your junk drawer and keep your income engine running smoothly at Omega Wealth Private Capital. We're fiduciary, independent, holistic wealth advisors, and we're here to turn your have-tos into get-tos. So, would you like your retirement dreams to move from good to great? Give us a call. It's what we do because we really want to. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope to see you in the office. Until then, I'm Brad Johansen. We'll see you next time on Wise Money.